Rifftrax. I'll never pick tracks where the riffs are missing. Why you always gotta pick Rifftrax? It's your lucky day, it's time for Rifftrax.
Hello, I'm Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to episode 24 of Every Rift Trek Short Reviewed, where I take 5 Rift Trek shorts in chronological order, review them, and give them a rating between 1 and 5, with the points being good, great, awesome, fantastic, and spectacular, since I don't think a bad Rift Trek short exists. In this bunch, we get 2 of the most surreal shorts we've seen thus far right in a row. So let's dive right into episode 24 of Every Rift Trek Short Reviewed. Number 116, Unto the Least of These, from December 6th, 2010.
Each bird is given a metal leg band for future identification.
One more thing these shrieking, mindless birds have in common with Lindsay Lohan.
With a title like Unto the Least of These, would you assume that this is all about catching an endangered species of chicken and the ridiculous, excessive means that are used to do so? Well, here we are. There's apparently a type of chicken that's dying out, and the makers of this short are desperately trying to save it. If that wasn't weird enough, our narrator likes to keep reminding us that, despite the fact that they're dying out, these chickens are practically obsessed with mating. And may I ask why you, Mr. Narrator, are so obsessed with these chickens mating? Or do I just not want to know?
Unto the least of these. Good, I can check C quote from Book of Matthew superimposed over funny bird off my bucket list.
Pretty specific list there. What else you got?
Actually, it's the only item on it. So the rest of my life is gravy!
They return to their traditional booming grounds for mating rituals. Once they boomed in 21 Texas counties.
Oh, they boomed, all right. They boomed with the booming desire of desperate, boomy teenagers.
Oh, for boom's sake.
Return each spring to their booming grounds on the runways at Ellington Air Force Base. They boom regardless of the air traffic around them.
In fact, they boom in an even boomier fashion when they have an audience.
The most effective method of capturing the birds is by helicopter, with an improvised 8-foot butterfly net attached to the front.
Most effective method according to our consultant, Wile E. Coyote.
This is easier said than done.
You don't say.
I'm a chicken. My brain is smaller than a dime, and yet I pwn you.
Carl, what are you going to tell your wife we did today?
I think I'll say we airlifted some burn victims to the hospital.
That's good, that's good. I'll use that too. That works. Yeah, eventually we parked the helicopter and picked the little guy up. What? No, I don't see a step in this process we could have skipped. Thank you very much.
After spending who knows how much time and money catching these stupid things, it's an overall fruitless venture since they can't even be kept in captivity or under surveillance, where it can be assured they'll continue to multiply. So this whole thing is just a ridiculous waste of resources.
But the Atwater's prairie chicken will neither move nor adjust. Willingly.
So let's spend millions of taxpayer dollars to keep these stubborn little dickheads around.
The wing feathers are clipped so the bird can't fly into the cage and injure himself.
Yes, we cripple it so it can't hurt itself.
Little is known. Previous attempts to raise them in captivity have not been successful.
Though we did learn that they don't cohabitate well with grizzly bears and are not flame resistant.
The majority of the birds trapped at Ellington are released in an area where the annual hatch was destroyed by heavy rains, hail, and hurricanes.
It's not a plan that we've thought through. At all. At any phase. In fact, it seems quite apparent that more than anything else, God desires that these chickens die. Sure, I can record a bitchin' guitar solo for you, using it for a chase scene or an extreme sports montage. Oh, chicken movie, huh?
If we are to save the Atwater's prairie chicken, we need to know where it travels and what type of habitat it prefers.
And since we've solved world hunger, cured cancer, and developed renewable fuel sources for our cars, sure, let's do it. What's that? None of them? Why the hell are we dicking around with these chickens?
The Atwater's prairie chicken can live on 1 million acres of the Texas coastal prairie.
Well, let's compromise and give him
It's
2 acres.
predicted that without help, they will be extinct before the year 2000.
Don't get your hopes up. They're not.
Damn it.
Wildlife.
I say we use the money wasted here for something to help humans and let these stubborn birds go the way of the dodo. This feathery short gets a 4 out of 5.
Lasagna dinner? Stop everything. This is a giant scam run by Garfield.
Later, he'll use the same box to send Nirmal to Abu Dhabi.
Number 117, Santa Claus's Punchin' Judy, from December 16th, 2010.
Punch is reprehensible on a lot of levels, but I like his approach to cats.
Once again, we dive into the winter wonderland of Christmas shorts with the first of the surreal offerings this episode. We open with a squeaky voice Santa giving out gifts to the children when the most sadistic one asks to see a Punch and Judy show. Punch and Judy are a set of famously abusive English puppet characters, and Punch is basically if you took Mr. Bungle, dialed up the ugly, and then made him not just a sociopath, or a bigger sociopath anyway, but also a crazed abuser. And to top things off, he has the most annoying voice in the history of the world.
And what did you ask for?
Power by any means.
Thank you, Santa.
Are we certain that kid's not a robot?
Now, how would you all like to have a real Punch and Judy show?
Robot Kid doesn't speak for us.
I'm ambivalent on the matter.
How long will it take? I have a 10 o'clock conference call.
Everybody, Punch and Judy, up here.
And the children are thrown into a frenzy not seen since Stravinsky debuted The Rite of Spring.
Yay, the terrifying European puppet is having a seizure, yay! The Ben Roethlisberger of hand puppets.
Oh, good Lord! Santa giving you the gift of domestic violence for Christmas.
It's nothing but high-pitched whining, kids cheering and screeching, and puppets beating the ever-loving crap out of each other for the whole thing. The riffs are fine enough, but holy cow, this short is so loud and annoying.
Cops was filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement.
Don't you ever buy me generic cat food again!
I hear the same kinds of taunts when I play Call of Duty online.
Oh, very offensive. Minstrel puppet boxing shows are for Easter only.
Well, he's a deranged psychopath, but he's got a lovely singing voice. Josh Groban, I mean, in case that wasn't clear.
Yeah, I gathered that, yeah. I hate to nitpick his style, but if Punch spent less time winding up and more time just swinging, I could get a lot more successful hits.
These crocs are gentle creatures. This one's just showing me her affection. What an amazing and beautiful girl.
The short itself is just awful, and without the riffs it would be unbearable. But thanks to Mike, Kevin, and Bill, they can make it good enough to get a 1.5 out of 5.
Punch and Judy, disappear!
Back to the level of hell where you reside, suffering the torture that fuels your violent rage.
Number 118, Courtesy, a good example, from December 27th, 2010.
All right, children, line up for recess.
I'm not gonna lie, kids, some of you aren't gonna make it back.
The second of the super bizarre for this episode. As you may have guessed from the punny title, this short is all about teaching kids courtesy through eggs. This little stop-motion short must have had a budget of about $2.73, seeing how the subjects are eggs, the sets are all cardboard, the music is all from the worst Casio player in the world, and there obviously weren't any writers because this short has virtually no story and practically nothing to do with courtesy.
Have a good day at school, Egbert. I will, Mom.
And thanks again for the really imaginative name. You sure stretched yourself there, Mom.
I'm suddenly very far away from you! Yes, honey, we lack limbs and any sort of face, but I think we get around pretty well, considering.
Oh, I can't look. There's gonna be yolk everywhere.
Oh, late again, Benedict? Oh, be quiet. Hey, Benedict.
Don't make Hulk Egg mad.
Horrible. None of them know they're headed to the omelet bar. Soundtrack provided by a ferret walking on a Casio tone.
So, they're eggs, and they make all their buildings in the shape of eggs, just like we make all ours in the shape of human beings.
Really debunked the logic of the egg puppet courtesy short.
You're welcome.
This short is one of the most goofy things I've seen to this day. In and of itself, it's funny just for how strange it is, but the riffs are fantastic here too. This is just one of the best shorts they've ever done, and it's definitely one I would suggest showing a friend that you're just introducing into the wonderful world of riffing.
You hear that Bobby got put into a souffle? Yeah, it was awful, man.
Hi. What time is it? It's time for school. Did you do your homework?
Eggs, not known for their sharp sense of humor.
Question. Where the Good morning, class.
Can anyone explain my clothing?
Be one nation under God.
Do sentient eggs have the same God as us?
Yes, and every day they wonder why God played such a cruel joke as to create them.
Shove over, you blue freak. Whose flag are you saluting anyway, huh?
Wow, Bennett. Wow, look at that.
Oh God, seizure! I can't stop! Get me my EpiPen!
How did you learn those tricks? Will you teach me?
Ah, yes, the shunned is now the shunner. Bow before Pinky.
Careful, Benedict.
Yes! He's dead!
Jerk had it coming.
Fry him up so he can feast on his innards!
Yay!
Oh, come on, they're not even trying.
So you're saying they don't get an A for Eggfurt?
Or an egg for Eggfurt?
Or an eggy, egg, and an egg, and an egg, and an egg, and an egg?
One of the best shorts we've gotten yet, this egg-tastic story gets a 5 out of 5.
Well, I am learning a lot about courtesy.
Yeah, me too. For example, I'm managing to have the courtesy not to call this short a cheap, annoying waste of time.
Number 119, The Being on Time Game, from January 4th, 2011.
My name is Cindy. I'm always late for things.
Except the Eleanor Roosevelt look-alike contest, right on time for that.
Here's another installment of the Alfred Higgins Insert Lame Excuse for a Game series. Last time, Mr. Mac, the rhyming and supposedly omniscient fix-it shop owner, taught us and the incompetent child, who was always in sped-up mode, how to follow instructions, and now he's teaching us and a new yet equally incompetent child who's constantly in slowed-down mode how to be on time. First, he gives her some examples of other tardy children and the terrible lives they lead.
It's hard to be on time when you only travel by slow-motion skipping.
Hello, Mr. Mac.
Gracious, Cindy, you should have hurried. I was getting very worried.
So I drank so much, the world's gone blurry.
Me
I
worried.
want to change, but I don't know how.
Well, let's see what we can do for you.
But let me say up front, I'm not optimistic.
The prize was for counting without a mistake.
And combing teacher's afro with a giant rake.
But finally, another girl had to take her place.
You're my new favorite. Enjoy the hatred of the other kids.
They had to wait. There was no way. Without that ball, they couldn't play.
They wound up trying meth instead.
He was in such a hurry, he forgot the ball.
He has the attention span of a goldfish that lives in a bowl of cheap tequila.
He ran as fast as he could go.
Trampling anyone in his path.
Once that's over, he teaches her the rule of the Being on Time game. Yep, rule, as in only one. I mean, sure, the other short only had 2, and they were obviously just rational pieces of advice and not actually rules to a children's game, but here, he just tells her to plan ahead, something that you don't even need a stupid rhyme to remember.
A timer can be set to ring when you want to remember a certain thing.
Operating a kitchen timer seems well beyond the abilities of these kids. Pretty sure this guy would just wind up swallowing it.
The reason why you have to do something, you will find it will help you be on time.
Which is a false rhyme.
Jimmy, if you don't...
And Jimmy gets on it, fueled by the power of angel dust.
Drugs are like that, too.
Can you guess what it is that I do?
Ask your mother?
Mother's dead. Thanks for reminding me. I loved her very much.
Plan ahead.
You plan to leave a severed head in the beds of those that wrong you.
Sure. How do you suppose your father would rate if for work he was always late?
Andre the Giant is not happy.
I would tell my mother to remind me.
If I fail, it's on your conscience, Mom.
When my mother called me, I get moving right away.
After my usual string of day greeting obscenities.
Then I'd be sure not to be late.
Getting to school at 4 a.m. is a little
And
OCD,
that's how
though.
you do it. You plan.
To play the game of being on time, just
Make an unnecessary, patronizing sign.
and you'll do.
This timely short gets a 4 out of 5.
And there they stay, forever frozen in that last golden moment of the 70s before disco wiped out their entire culture.
If I'm not too late, I'd like to
Not
add...
too late.
Damn, goodbye.
Number 120, Basic Job Skills, Handling Daily Problems, from January 11th, 2011.
Why should you live with a problem when it's possible to talk about it and maybe solve it?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
If you're having trouble at your job, do you simply grumble about stewing in your own inner pain and hatred, or do you actually attempt to use rational thought to fix the problem? If it's the first one, then you'd better pay attention to this short.
These people are experienced at their work, and over the years they've learned what it means to do a job right.
They just choose not to.
They know that there are ways to deal with daily job problems.
Pretending to read a book, for instance.
I've noticed that some people, especially the newcomers on the job, seem to have trouble coping with little problems.
I have to be where at the 2 o'clock shift?
You!
Sally, what's this note about Mrs. Starsky's vital signs?
Here are the documents instructing you to off.
Okay, ease off. I'll have it straight in a minute.
Die in a fire, all of you!
I guess she just can't deal with pressure like some other people can't deal with new equipment.
Damn it, now I'm dead.
We're trying to keep a tally for a few months, so he's supposed to register every tag in a logbook.
It's suicide-inducing work.
He breaks a...
Come on, Art, look lively now.
God, shouldn't he be dodging barrels thrown by a monkey?
And here's Ken Hall, our youngest carpentry crew chief.
Hasn't worked a day in his life.
What do you mean I don't get my wire until this afternoon?
But can't get done.
It's so funny that all the problems are blown so out of proportion. Everyone treats their issues like they're mind-numbing puzzles that couldn't possibly be solved. However, most of the problems could be solved with a simple conversation or even a very small change in basic protocol.
That sounds hard.
You've just taken the first step in solving your own problem. You found out what's bothering you, and you told it to me. But there's someone else you should talk to. Someone who can help you solve your problem.
Who could that be?
Vanilla Ice.
Oh, wait. I won't run short, and you won't be so hassled.
It would help for sure. And there's something else. There's the form we used to use. We could distribute.
Then we could get married, and I'd introduce you to my life-size robot and show you my large collection of Betamax tapes.
You think it...
Have you ever taken the time to figure out when he might be willing to talk it over?
Well,
that sounds hard.
Find out exactly what's bothering him. Talk it out.
Then hire this guy to break some thumbs.
So is Joe.
it's just that you make me feel... Look.
Shut your stupid gob.
Think it over and talk it over.
Then punch it over.
Work it out. Maybe they can work out a system to improve things.
Most likely they'll make things worse.
And Max Willis can't stay mad at his equipment.
Oh, equipment. I can't quit you.
This hard-working short gets a 4 out of 5.
When you've been working for a few years, you know it.
Unless you work with memory erasing fumes, I guess.
And when you work...
As always, thank you all so much for watching, and special thanks to my Patreon supporters, including Jackie Ball, Kevin Nada, and Jill Johnson for their fantabulous generosity. And next month, on June 15th, I will be in Nashville to see the Rifftrax Live Summer Shorts Beach Party in person. So if you'll be there, feel free to say hi. I would love to meet you guys. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.
Courtesy.
It's time for